is just like, it's weird, yeah. I don't understand why we do this system, but I suppose it's the best one for everyone. Okay, right, I've just turned on the recording, we'll come back. Okay, so while the recording has started, let us just quickly run through our attendance. Okay, just to double check, people online, can you hear me? Okay, if at any point you don't hear me, just type in the chat, yeah? Okay. Right, let's quickly run through the attendance. Okay, Brian?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right, thank you. Gui Lian?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Eileen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Jia Hui?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks. Okay, Edward's here. Okay, Yu Xuan's here. Okay, thank you. Julia?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Kai's here. Sinro?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Esther?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ji Liang? Okay, Chun Xian?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Jin Nan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Min Yu? Okay, thank you. Wen Qian?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Jun Xiang?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Hong Sheng?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Martin?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Tian Fu?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Wan Qi?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Queenie? Oh, hi, nice to meet you. Okay, Yao Kwan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Rachel?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Jun En?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Carmen? Arman?
Sir, I forgot to tell you, Carmen has dropped out course.
Okay, right, thank you. Okay, Xin Yi?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Kaiman?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Okay, everyone's here. Okay, let's make a start. Okay, right. Today's tutorial, elasticity, we will be done quite quickly. People should take out their calculators if they have them, because we have to do calculations, okay? Unless, of course, you have done everything, okay? Right, so let's make a start, okay? Now, question 1, okay? A 10% decrease in price of rose bouquets results in a 5% increase in quantity demanded. Now, class, before we talk about the answer, I want you to notice the statement. It says a 10% decrease in the price results in a 5% increase in quantity demanded. Notice this is the law of demand. If the price goes down, quantity demanded must go up, okay? So if you see a statement, something like a 10% decrease in the price causes a 5% decrease in quantity demanded, something is wrong. Because it's the law of demand, right? If the price goes down, quantity demanded must go up, okay? Right, so, okay, so for this question, what do you think is the price elasticity of demand? Okay, Brian says C. What do you guys think? Okay, right. Okay, thanks to the people online as well. Yes, the correct answer is C, yeah? Okay, 0.5. Okay, so how did you get it? How did you get 0.5? Just to check. Okay, quantity demanded divided by price, okay? So that would be, more precisely, 5% divided by 10%, okay? Now class, one thing I want to remind you guys, for elasticity, don't mess up your quantity demanded and your price, yeah? Quantity demanded must go on top, price must go at the bottom, because otherwise your number gets flipped around, okay? So if you made a mistake here, you would, okay, for example, if you flipped, if you put price at the top and quantity demanded at the bottom, you would get 2, which is, you know, if you take half, flip it over, you get 2, okay? So just be careful of that, okay? So that, you know, you don't mix up the numbers, okay? It's actually very common, yeah, it has happened to me quite a lot as well. Okay, so 1 is C. Okay, let's move on to the next one. If the price of good X falls, okay, and demand for good X is unit elastic, what happens to the percentage change in quantity demanded? Oh, you guys can see the chat here. Actually, let me move this right along. Okay, right, sorry, I'm back. Okay, so yeah, so whenever you see unit elastic, it means equal, yeah, okay? This is the same for both price elasticity of demand and also for price elasticity of supply. Whenever you have unit elastic, it means that the change in quantity demanded or supplied is equal to the percentage change in price, okay? So for question 2, the correct answer is C as well, okay? Right, okay. Let's move on to the third question, okay? This is a definition question. Okay, what is the price elasticity of demand? Okay, thank you to the people online. Okay, so C is the correct answer. Okay, percentage change in quantity demanded to the percentage change in price. Okay, now what is the absolute change? Say your price goes up from 12 ringgit to 15 ringgit. So the difference of 3 ringgit is the absolute change. Okay, absolute change is when it's not divided by the original number. Okay, so but for elasticity, we focus on percentage changes. Okay, percentage changes. Now, class, just another thing, yeah. When you calculate your price elasticity of demand, there is no unit, there is no ringgit or units of goods or whatever. It's just a number. Okay. If you end up with a ringgit or something, that means you have forgotten to divide by something. Because if you take a percentage divide by a percentage, it will cancel out all the units. Okay. Right. So yeah, question 3, the correct answer is C. Okay. Any questions so far, people here? Everything okay, yeah? People online, everything all right so far? Okay, good. Okay, now let's move on to question 4. Okay, question 4. Okay, let's take a few minutes to calculate, okay, and then I will show you the full calculation, okay? I'll give you something like 3 minutes. Okay, so work on question 4. Okay, right. Anyone needs more time? Okay, so far? Okay, yeah. Okay, right. Let me swap to my PowerPoint so that we can talk through the workings together, yeah? Okay, so I will make all of this available on Google Classroom. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, so this is the formula, okay? Yeah, okay. I'm not sure what just happened. Okay, so this is the formula that you have to use, okay, to calculate this question, okay? So we're doing the midpoint method, yeah? Okay, we're doing the midpoint method because the percentage change method is not very reliable, okay? So let's look at the question again, okay? Sorry for the people here. Okay, I will just read out the question, okay? So quantity demanded rises from 90 units to 150. So you can look here, I will type it here. So the absolute change, okay, in quantity demanded, 115 minus 90. Okay, now we have to take the average. So you just add them together and multiply by 0.5. So 115 plus 90. Okay, so that is the quantity demanded part. Now the next thing we need to do is to work on the price. Okay, the price falls from 120 to 1 ringgit. Okay, so 120 minus 1 ringgit. Okay, at the bottom you add them up again. 120 plus 1. Okay, so can someone give me the answer? What did you get? Please give me the number, yeah, instead of the option. People here can type in the chat as well. Okay, thank you, Rachel. Okay, so you should get something like, and thanks Kai as well. So you should get something like this, okay? As a fraction, yeah, okay, 41. Okay, that will give you 1.341, something like that, okay? And so that is how you do the calculation, yeah? Again, just a reminder, don't mix up your, what do you call it? Don't mix up your quantity demanded and your price, okay? So, okay, right, so next, let us go back to the question. Okay, where is my question? Okay, so the correct answer is A, 1.34. Okay, if you got 0.75, that means you have put your price at the top and your quantity demanded at the bottom. Okay, because if you flip them around, it's something like 0.75. Okay, so question 4, the answer is A. Okay, now let's move on to question 5. If quantity demanded is completely unresponsive to changes in the price, what do we call that demand? Okay, yep, okay, thank you. We call that perfectly inelastic, okay? Perfectly inelastic. Examples of perfectly inelastic demand. Dialysis medication. If you know the price goes up and you say, I don't want to go for dialysis, then you just drop dead the next day, okay? Or heart medication. The price goes up, you still have to buy, otherwise you'll die, okay? So that is what we call perfectly inelastic demand, okay? So let's move. Before that, any questions? Everything okay? Okay. People online, everything okay? Okay, right. Let's move on. Question 6. Okay, which of the following would result in higher price elasticity? Okay, Brian says A. What about the rest? Okay, thank you everyone. So the correct answer is A, yeah, okay? If you have more substitutes, price elasticity goes up. Just think about something like, shampoo, soap, toothpaste, okay? If the price of one brand goes up, you just buy the other brand, okay? But for things that don't have many substitutes, okay, like toilet paper, if you don't use toilet paper, what are you going to do, okay? So for that, the price elasticity will be low because you cannot substitute to another good. Okay, so A is the correct answer. Now, class, what is the problem with D? Okay, the good is more of a necessity. Okay, is it necessities or luxuries that will give you higher price elasticity? Okay, luxuries, yeah. Okay, so just be careful there. Okay, the reasoning is quite. I think it makes sense, okay? Just think about luxuries, okay? Holidays, okay? Nice clothes, nice watches, okay? That kind of thing. If the price goes up, you're like, I can live without it for another day or another week, okay? So you wait until the price has fallen, only you buy. But for necessities, you cannot not eat rice. We're Asians, okay? For example, yeah, okay? So if the price of rice goes up, you will still have to buy it. It's a necessity, okay? So let's move on. Question 7. Okay. Define the price elasticity of supply. What do you think is the correct answer? Okay, yes, the correct answer is B, yeah, okay? Now, A is referring to price elasticity of demand, okay, because it's demanded, okay? And C and D just don't make sense, okay? You can ignore that, all right? Now, let's move on to question 8. Okay, what is the most important determinant of the price elasticity of supply? Okay, in other words, okay, what is the thing that affects price elasticity of supply the most? Okay, so D is the answer, yeah? Okay, type, okay? Just think about supply, okay? You own a factory. You want to increase your supply of products because the price has gone up. But to do that, you need to, hire more workers, build new factories, order more materials. That takes time, okay? So in the short term, okay, maybe, the price goes up, maybe a few days after that, okay? You won't be able to do much. But say in 3 months, you can do that, okay? In 3 months, you can order new supplies, hire more workers, or maybe even fire workers if you want to reduce supply, okay? But in the short run, it's not possible. That's why the most important determinant is time, okay? Now, any answers that you want me to repeat that you might have missed? Did you all get everything?
So,
Yeah?
can I ask number 4, where is the 0.5 from?
Number 4. Wait, what was number 4 again? Oh, you want to take the average, okay? So 0.5 is the same as 1/2, right? So how do you find the average of the two numbers? Okay, let's look at the average price, okay? How do you take the average? You take one ringgit 20 cents, you add it to 1 ringgit, and then you divide by 2, correct? But dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by 0.5.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, you're welcome. Any other questions before we move on? Okay, if not, then let's turn to our essay questions, okay? Okay, people here, I will show you the slide, so you may want to take down the slide numbers, okay? Unless, of course, you have the slides with you, all right? But all of this is recorded anyway, so you can rewatch it later on as well, okay? Right, let's look at the essay questions, okay? 1.8, define price elasticity of demand, okay? That's the first part. And then you show how it is measured, okay? That's the second part. Okay, where do you think you can get the answers from the lecture slides? Okay, it's slide number 4. Okay, people here, just a minute. Okay, right. So we want to define price elasticity of supply. So what you have to do is just write down this whole bit. Okay, you just need to give the definition. That's the first part of the question. Define price elasticity of demand. So that's what you have to do. Okay, the next part is you need to tell me how to calculate it. Okay, for that you need to give me the formula. Okay, you need to give me the formula. You can give me this, okay, the percentage change method. You can give me the midpoint method, or you can do both, it's fine, as long as you show me how to calculate it. So either one or both, I don't care, okay, as long as you show me, all right? Now, if you're wondering whether you need to write the bit where ED equals to coefficient or price elasticity of demand, okay, if you have time, write it down. But because this is a question with only 4 marks, it's not absolutely required, okay? It's like it helps you, but it's not really needed, okay? Because it's only 4 marks. If they say something like 6 marks or 8 marks, then I might write it down, okay? Because it's like many marks now. Otherwise, you're just literally writing 2 lines for 8 marks, okay? So does this make sense for 1A? Okay, yeah? Okay. Right, let's carry on. Briefly explain any 3 determinants of the price elasticity of demand. Okay, so we want to talk about what affects price elasticity of demand. So you just have to pick any 3 items from these 4 factors. Okay, you have 4 factors here, just pick any 3. Okay, so number of substitutes. Because for this question, it doesn't specify whether you want to increase price elasticity of demand or decrease the price elasticity of demand. Therefore, in your answer, you should cover both. Okay, you should cover both. So for example, number of substitutes. You should tell me, okay, more substitutes, elasticity goes up. Fewer substitutes, elasticity goes down. Okay, so you should cover both sides of the factor here. Okay. Okay, so here's the example, not really needed here. Now, necessities versus luxuries. So you can tell me luxury, higher price elasticity of demand, necessity, lower price elasticity of demand. Okay. Am I going too fast? Or is it okay? All right. Okay, so let's continue with the third one. Okay, percentage of budget. Okay, this one is easy. It's already been split into the 2 bullet points for you here. Okay. Greater percentage of budget, okay, higher price elasticity, lower percentage, then lower price elasticity, okay? For time, okay, time you can basically just write down everything here, okay? But the focus is that the less time that passes, the lower the price elasticity, and the higher the price elasticity is higher in the long run, okay? So you need to capture both short and long run here. Okay. So people online, any questions for 1B? Okay, if not, then let's move on to the next question. Okay, the next question is a calculation question and interpret. Okay. So I'll give you 5 minutes, okay? So we will come back after 5 minutes, okay? And so please work on the calculation and the interpretation, okay? people here, I'll just swap to this screen. Okay, so work on this for 5 minutes. Are you guys cold? Are you guys cold? Oh, okay. Maybe it's just me sitting right under the aircon. Oh, by the way, guys, it's physical class, so I really don't mind people talking. I mean, like, if you literally just come and sit and stare at the table, it's like you might as well stay home. So might as well just talk. I don't mind. Okay, like I really, really don't mind as long as it does not interrupt the class. So if you have to ask each other stuff, perfectly fine. Okay, perfectly fine. I don't mind. I mean, I even allowed people to play Chinese New Year songs in one of the lectures, right? So. Was it? Yeah, I think it was. I think it was this our lecture. Like someone was playing Chinese New Year songs. Perfectly fine. I don't mind. Kenfu, what do you mean by one? Okay, right. I think people are okay with this. So let me just swap to my PowerPoint, yeah? Okay, right. So let us put in our numbers again, okay? So the question says the price of bubble gum, okay, falls from 50 cents to 40 cents, okay? So remember, price always goes at the bottom, okay? For the average, you add them up and divide and multiply by 0.5, okay? What about the quantity demanded? Okay, quantity demanded, it goes up from 400 to 600, okay? So 600 minus 400, okay, here you add them up. Okay, so your answer should be 9/5 or 1.8. Okay, right, 9/5. Okay, I will accept both in the exam, yeah, okay, it can be 1.8, 9/5, that's fine. Okay, now class. So Brian has given us something that looks, okay, that is relevant, okay? But before that, is this demand elastic, inelastic, or unit elastic? And how do you know? Okay, Rachel says elastic. Okay, yeah, all right. So whenever you tell me it's elastic or inelastic or unit elastic, you must also tell me why, okay? In this case, it's more than one. So that's the key part, yeah, okay? So if you just say elastic, I will be like, why do you say so? So you need to tell me because it's more than one, okay? So I'll just type it on the PowerPoint is greater than one. Therefore, demand is price elastic. Okay, now for this question, okay, do you have to tell me a 1% change in price causes a 1% change in quantity demanded? For this question, no, because it's only 5 marks. But for the next few questions, yes. So if you are not sure, okay, in the exam, you look at this, you're not 100% sure whether you have to write this or not, okay, then just write it, okay, just to play safe, because how people assign marks depends a lot on the examiner, okay? The examiner might think, okay, you need to do this to get 5 marks, then you have to do it. But some people might think no, okay? So always play safe, just write it down, okay? Now let me include that. And you want to be specific, yeah, okay? Because we're talking about price elasticity of demand. That means if one goes up by 1%, the other must go down by 1.8%, okay? So if price increases by 1%, and quantity demanded, okay, decreases by 1.8. Okay, or you can talk about price decreasing, quantity demanded increasing. That's perfectly fine. Okay, it's just that if you just say change and change, that can be a bit ambiguous because I can't tell whether you understand the law of demand or not. Okay. Any questions? Is it clear? Okay, yeah. All right. People online, everything okay so far? All right. Okay. Let's move on then. Okay. Now let's look at question 3. Okay, question 3, notice that it's split into 4 and 3 marks. Here, you definitely have to talk about price changing by 1%. What about, your quantity demanded? Here, you definitely have to do that interpretation part. In addition to telling me whether it's elastic, inelastic, or something else. Okay, so question 3, okay. Okay, just let me set up my PowerPoint. Okay, I'm just going to put in the numbers again, yeah, so that people understand that. Okay, right. So question 3, the quantity demanded for good Y increases from 100 to 125 units when the price decreases from 10 to 8. Okay, so the top is your quantity demanded. Okay, so 125 and 100. Okay, 125 minus 100. The bottom, you add them up and divide by, and you multiply by 0.5. Okay. For the price, you put in 10 and 8. Okay, 10 minus 8. Bottom, you add them up. Okay, and you should get 1. Okay, you should get 1. Okay. Okay, so in this case, we start off, okay, for part B, yeah? Oh, before that, I actually should mention this. Okay, now class, if you write this, you get 1 mark. Okay, just the formula, yeah? Okay, or this as well. Both of them are fine. Okay, 1 mark for the formula, 1 mark for doing this step, okay, putting in all the numbers correctly, and 1 mark for the final answer. So if you make a mistake in the final answer, but you do everything else right, you will still get 2 marks out of 3. Here, let me see, yeah? I think it might be 4. Okay, 4, that means, let me check. Okay, 4, that means the final answer carries probably 2 marks. Okay, so if you make a mistake in your final answer, you still get 2 out of 4. Okay, you don't lose everything. That's why it's very important whenever in this course, you have to calculate something, always write down the formula and show all your steps. Because formula carries marks, steps also carries marks. Okay? Right, so let's move on to the interpretation. First thing is you must tell me what is the value of the price elasticity of demand. Is it greater than 1, less than 1, equal to 1? Okay? In this case, it is equal to 1. Therefore, demand is unit elastic. Okay? Unit elastic, yeah? And interpret that a 1% increase in the price of good Y causes a 1% decrease in quantity demanded of good Y. Okay? So just make sure you cover those 3 things, okay? I'll just type it in the chat so that you have something like a hint, okay? What is the value of E greater than, less than, or equal to 1? Okay? What? So is it elastic, inelastic, or unit elastic? Then you interpret. Okay, so that's the hint here. Okay, I don't think you can see it. Okay, so that's the hint. You need to cover 3 things. Okay, so the first one, okay, what is the value of ED? More than 1, less than 1, equal to 1. And then you talk about whether it's elastic, inelastic, or unit elastic. And the third one is you talk about, okay, 1% increase in price, what happens next? Okay. Actually, I can just put that on the PowerPoint. I don't know why I did that. Okay, just let me put that in the PowerPoint. I will upload the PowerPoint here so that you can refer to it later on. Oh, sorry. Okay, so that's just a hint for you later on when you meet this question again. Okay, now let's move on to question 4. Yeah, we've done question 3, right? Yeah. Okay, let's move on to question 4. Okay. Share my PowerPoint, not PowerPoint, the slides. Okay, right. So question 4, define the price elasticity of supply. Same thing as price elasticity of demand, okay? You just need to give me the definition, okay? And it's best that you write down this formula as well, just to be safe, okay? So this whole slide will basically be your answer to 4.8, okay? What is the price define the price elasticity of supply, okay? So, yeah. Okay, now, part B. Okay, so part B. Is price elasticity of supply usually larger in the short run or the long run? Okay, class, what do you think? Long or short? Okay. What about the rest? Okay. Okay, thanks to the people online as well. Okay, right. So let us go to our slides again. So it is larger in the long run, okay? Just that you need to explain why. Okay. Now, basically, most of the stuff you need to write is here, okay? So for goods which quantity supply can increase with time, the longer the period of adjustment, okay, the higher the price elasticity of supply because additional production takes time, okay? So as an example, okay, you can include this in your answer as well. Suppose that to increase production, you must build a new factory. Building the new factory takes time. Therefore, your quantity supplied will increase, will have a larger increase in response to the change in price after the factory has been built compared to when the factory is being built. Okay, so that's the same idea. Or you need to, order new materials or hire new workers. All of these things take time, and that is why additional production will take time as well. Okay, so basically, if you write this in, should be good enough. Okay, this lecture slide, yeah. Okay, any questions so far? Everything okay? Anything you want me to repeat, people online? Or people here? Okay, if not, okay, let us do the last question. Okay, it's still a calculation question. Now, remember the hints I gave you earlier, okay? So take some time, work on this, okay? Especially on the interpret part, okay? In terms of calculation, I think most people should be fine, but the interpretation might take a bit of work, okay? So I'll give you something like 5 minutes to work on it. It's the last day of Chinese New Year already, and I haven't done anything. That's so sad. I want to ask you guys, how did you all find this block? I think this is your first semester, first semester face-to-face in Thai UC, right? How did you find the block? Using the map, oh, okay. I am not good with maps. I literally came in on Monday and spent like 1 hour just walking around campus just to see, oh, block PA is here, BKC is here. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Because there are no, signboards, it's like, yeah, there's no, signboard saying, oh, PA here or block something there. And it's just like, I just know it's like roughly this direction and that's it. Okay, how are people getting on? Anyone needs more time? Okay, right. Then let's get this question done with. Okay, let me share my PowerPoint. Okay, right. I put in the answer. Okay, but so the answer is 3. Yeah. Okay. If you got 1/3, check if you accidentally put your price at the top and quantity at the bottom. Okay. So the price falls from 16 ringgit to 14 ringgit. Okay. So at the bottom, 16 minus 14. Okay. And here you have 16 plus 14. And what about burgers? The quantity demanded increases from 200 to 300. Okay. So 300 minus 200. Okay. 300 plus 200. Okay. So you should get 3. All right. So people online. Okay, is the price elasticity of demand greater than 1, less than 1, equal to 1? And is it elastic or inelastic? Okay, greater than 1 elastic, yeah? Okay, very good. Is greater than 1. Okay. And the demand is price elastic. Okay, so the next part, demand for good wine. Sorry. Okay, 1% increase in the price of McDonald's burgers. Okay, need to change this. Yeah, McDonald's burgers. Okay, causes a 3% increase. Okay, because the number is 3. Okay. So again, you just take what number you calculated, just put it in there, okay, and that will give you a complete answer. So if anything, if you're not sure how to do it, okay, just kind of memorize this and pop in the correct things, okay. If the price elasticity is less than 1, then you just change to inelastic, and then you put the number into your interpretation, okay. So that is basically all you have to do, okay, to be sure. Okay, so each time they ask you to interpret, yeah, okay, this is roughly what you need to give, okay. I would say, it's always safer to give more than less, okay. So even if it's 5 marks or 7 marks, this will definitely be enough, okay. So any questions from people? Everything okay so far today? Okay, for people in the class, okay, is this way of doing it okay? Because the next time then I'll just always project the screen, okay? And yeah, I don't think I'll need the whiteboard because if I need to write something, I'll just do it on PowerPoint and share, okay? So people online, any questions that you might have before we close? Everything okay so far online? All right, okay. If that's the case, then okay, just let me turn off the recording. Okay, so yeah, I think that is all for today. Yeah, no further questions yet. Okay, so yeah, that is all for today. So I will see you in the lecture. Okay, and that's all. All right, so have a good week. Take care. Hey, thanks for coming. I wasn't expecting students, so it's a very pleasant surprise. Hey, you're welcome.